Hello, everybody. Hi, it's Kim Duramo. I wanted to touch base today about something that's really so powerful and so inspiring that I realized the other day. I was listening to someone speak, and one of the things she mentioned was how, she was speaking to a large group of people, that the consciousness she was in and what she was sharing was really coming forth because of the receptivity of the people and where they were at, like what they're receptive to, what they're able to hear. And she said, I couldn't just make this stuff up. And I realized how powerful that is and how overlooked. And sometimes like we have the inspiration to share something, but then we think like, well, will people be able to hear this? Does this make any sense? And we don't realize that we are actually connected. We're in unity. We are one. We're all in the same system. And that our inspiration to share something or go and do something is a reflection of those people. Thank you for the hearts. Of those other people who are like asking for that or ready for that or receptive to that. And this was so important for me when I was starting with the work that I'm doing now. It was so many years back when I was inspired to share this truth, right? Like we all have an inner knowing and a truth of like what is, who we really are, what is really true, what we really want to share, what's authentic. But then the mind gets in and we either like don't know it, hide it from ourselves, pretend to be what we think we're supposed to be instead. And we like block it not only from ourselves, but from our communication. And so long ago, I had this awareness of like, wow, we are connected. We are powerful. We are creators. Our mind and body are connected. Our physical body is responding to what we think or what we believe. It's all connected. And I had the awareness that I would become a doctor and be here to share this truth in medicine and from that platform. But I had no idea, like, whoa, how could that possibly work? This is so out there. Like I couldn't even have words for it at the time. It was so out there. But I had that download and I had that awareness. But instead of just brushing it off, like, oh yeah, no one's going to be able to listen to that. I cultivated it and I listened and I followed and I let it be a major guiding point for my life. And it certainly, guided me to medical school and then through medical school and through residency and through that journey, which was all part of this foundation. And I let it guide me, right? I didn't brush it aside or think like, oh, that's too weird. And so when this person said this yesterday, I realized like how important it is to know that that's how the universe works. That if you have an inspiration to be a certain way or share a certain thing, it's because there are those who are ready to receive it. Not only like ready, but like begging for it, right? Like sometimes you might say something and someone's like, wow, that's exactly what I needed to hear. And what I think is like we're each meant to live our gift in that way, like in a way that makes a massive difference for everyone. And I shared a video this weekend about the movie Encanto that I had seen with my daughter. I saw it twice now. And in that movie, they share this underlying premise. You get to it at the end that like everyone has a gift. We all have a gift. And it's not necessarily this magical thing that gets given to us and can be taken away. At the end, you realize like, oh, it's who I am. And the whole movie, the people are afraid of losing their gift and the grandmother's afraid that all the family members will lose this, she'll lose this magical gift. And at the end, it all comes together in this beautiful way where they realize, oh, this is just me being who I am. I am this gift. It can't be taken away. It's not threatened. And it's true for each of us. We each have a genius and a gift. And when we cultivate that and we follow that and we tune in and we let it guide us, we become not only fulfilled, because it's so fulfilling to be our authentic self, but we become a gift. We become a massive contribution in the world. So this thing of how I am and how I express myself was always really weird. It was like, this is too weird. I can't be this. I'm going to be totally rejected. But that, that's really not where I followed, right? I listened and I cultivated that and I I vested myself in, I invested in it, I followed that. And it's allowed my life to flourish more and more and more the more I do that. So I wanted to talk about this kind of like observer effect that as we see in quantum science, and this has been like over 100 years of massive amounts of research to show that the science that we think is like hard and fast and unchanging is actually completely and utterly subject to the observer effect. Meaning if you intend it to go a certain way or you expect it to go a certain way, it will show up. The science, the life, even the computer and technology will show up that way. They do like random number generators and they put it in a field of like, a space, an energy field of like negativity, and it will go a certain way and generate this kind of, randomization. And if they put it in a coherent field of like, I think one of the studies was, at a baseball game when they sing Sweet Caroline, bum, bum, bum. And if you've ever been at a bar or at a game and everyone plays that, sings that song, you feel the high frequency of it, right? It's a high frequency field and it does something to you. Like maybe you just feel joy, or maybe you start singing and you don't ordinarily sing, or maybe you have goosebumps. It's a high frequency field. Well, when they do the random number generators, it won't be random, right? It will affect the way the numbers get generated in favor of, whatever the intended outcome. So we see that everyone living and technologic is responding to our observation of it, our expectation of it, the energy field we're in. And the important thing about it is, you're not just in an energy field, which of course affects your cells and affects your health and affects your mood and affects your brain. You are an energy field. And you either are an energy field of coherence. I love myself unconditionally. I choose to show up in the fullness that I am to the best degree possible, which is really never going to be perfect. Or you're an incoherent, discordant energy field. Oh, why did I do that? I can't believe it. Let me try to do better next time. Pushing, trying, striving, in tension, which is going to create a very different outcome in your life. So we have the Be the Medicine program starting tomorrow. We've had a group of awesome people who are already participating and signed up. And I think this is a really important thing that I'm sharing in this work, is that we are the medicine. That isn't just an effect, like a factor in the equation, right? Yeah, your field has some power, but your credentials and the work you're doing is more important. Are you doing this powerful thing? Are you doing that thing? Oh, I've got these credentials. Like, no, it's the opposite. The field you are, your presence is like 99.9999999% of what is influencing your life, your body, and your outcomes. So if you've been like inspired to share a message of truth, of authenticity, and even if it seems like, I don't know if people will get this, it's always because there are people here who are ready to receive this from you. And to the degree that you remember, like, wait a minute, this is about my embodiment, my believing in me and my vesting in my truth, and not about everybody else or anything outside of me. Until we realize that, we keep trying to kind of tweak it. We keep trying to look outside ourselves. We keep trying to wait for the circumstances, or wait for the money to show up, or wait for until I get it right, or until I'm a complete project. Oh, hello, beautiful Renaissance redhead. This is so helpful for me to remember that if I have an inspiration, it's because there are those who want and need it. Yeah, and that was a really powerful thing for me to look at. The Emma Gleason. Wow, this is so me right now. Yeah, this is so a lot of people right now, right? Because we are in an awakening, and it's like, we know, we have this little bit of knowing, like, whoa, I really am a creator. I really am powerful. I really am connected. I really am always provided for by source or God or whatever you want to call it, the universe. I really am, the universe does have my back. We can start to remember that, and we all have this little bit of knowing, but then it's like we're disconnected from it a little. We're not certain of it. We're not really vesting in it. We're still kind of like, let me cover the bases just in case I'm wrong about this thing. And we put energy into the lack limitation paradigm. When we start to put more investment of our energy, of our choices into our truth, our life really accelerates. Like 100% always will move toward acceleration, because every single choice, every single breath, every moment, we're either moving into alignment or away from alignment. Every single thing we do will move us either more into alignment or away from alignment. Right? There's like nothing that's kind of neutral with that. And either is good, because when we move away from alignment, we get more clarity. We're like, oh, this hurts. Wait a minute. Oh, that didn't work. Let me change course. Let me find flow. Let me choose in favor of my flow instead of, busting my butt. Sindori said, indeed, you guys are in God's hands. Thanks, you guys, for being here. So good to see you. Ellen. Hello, Ellen. Michelle. Alice. All right, everybody. I don't know everybody's names because these are like sometimes hell's bells. So here's to awakening. Lee. I keep dipping my toe in the water and feeling how good it is and then running away. Yeah, the Emma Gleason. So that's the same thing. It will bring clarity. So wherever you are, be where you are. Just be there with more consciousness. Be there with more willingness, right? I keep running away. Oh, I shouldn't do that. No, do it. Do it, but be fully aware of what it's creating, because that will let your system register the information. So you're either running away from your truth with total presence and consciousness, in which case your whole cellular system gets the download of that information and it becomes easier to make a different choice, or you're running away from your truth and shutting down like, oh no, I shouldn't be running away again. I should be doing it differently, right? Making yourself wrong. In which case you tighten and tense, and your system it's not receptive. So it doesn't really get the clarity. So it doesn't matter what you're choosing. If you choose it with full out willingness, your system will learn. It's like, Tim Gallwey wrote this awesome book. I've talked about this before, and he's so awesome and genius. And it was called The Inner Game of Tennis. And then they subsequently did like the inner game of golf. And I've actually approached him about doing the inner game of healing. And I do want to move forward with that project next year. Anyway, super genius that he talks about, like, if you will let go, your system will learn. Your system knows how to hit the ball and like get it over the net and do this way and do that way. But then the ego comes on board and is like, oh, I hope I don't mess this up. Oh, I hope I kick this guy's butt. Oh God, why am I have such a bad forehand? Right? So the judgment comes in, and then what does that do to the system that's capable of learning and growing and excellence? It's like it glitches up the system, so the system can't perform at your peak. It can't do the genius, right? Like, we're not all here to be tennis players, but whatever your genius is, your system is going to not only learn and develop excellence with that, it's going to guide you into creating that. It's going to guide you into forming that. Like, I formed a whole business around my genius, which is like a deep intuitive ability to read people's energy or feel into what's actually causing their disease and what's really behind their pain and what's really going on that's keeping them in depression, or fill in the blank. Like, it's literally infinite what that intelligence that I've been able to access, and we can all access. And to develop the receptivity to that is quite a thing. Like, it's been decades, you guys. This was in high school when I started being able to sense people, like hear people's thoughts and sense people's energies and know what was going on. And I thought, I'm going crazy, right? There's something wrong. And it wasn't awesome. It wasn't awesome. It was like, what's wrong with me? Right? But I followed it and I cultivated and I asked, what's right about this? What could I do with this? What is this really meant to be? And it guided my whole life into something like really absolutely amazing. And that is here for each of us. And I'm going to share the link for the Be the Medicine program for anyone who is really inspired to be a part of that, because that is what we're doing, is we're moving you more and more into who you truly are. So you're functioning from that space physically, mentally, emotionally. Your brain, we open the receptivity so you can actually hear that truth, and you do know. Someone in the Embracing Health last week said, no, I legitimately don't know what to do. Because I said to her, she's like, how do I make blah, blah, blah happen when I just don't know how to do it? And I said to her, well, can you let go of that story you have that you need to know? She's like, no, I legitimately don't know. And I said, yeah, so could you just make it that it doesn't even matter that you don't know? Like, you don't need to know, and you could still move into your highest expression. Like, I don't know how I do what I do. I didn't know how to create a business. I didn't know how I would see people all over the world, or like work as much or as little as I wanted to, and receive a beautiful, abundant, peaceful life. I didn't know how, but I chose it anyway. And so she laughed because she's like, oh my God, that's so true. Like, what if I just made it up that I don't need to know how? You are creating it. You are creating all of it. So are you creating your life from truth, from grounding, from authenticity, which will always fill you and provide for you? Or are you creating your life from fear and lack and fixing the problem? The link, okay, so it's at drkimd.com/BTM. If you just, even looking at the page for the Be the Medicine program is very expansive, because we put a lot into, what are we actually sharing here? What is this actually about? It's not get better at your marketing and create a better business, or learn really good tools and go help people and save the world. There's already genius in you, right? If we can just create more alignment in your system, you'll show up in your wholeness, and the how will present itself. And there are a lot of people I know who are, is this program beginner friendly? Yes, 100%. Well, because we're all beginners. We're all beginners. And if we start from beginner mind, the whole world is available, like the whole universe can be accessed. But what happened for me is I spent years trying to develop this business and trying to get my message out and jumping on the bandwagon of this mastermind and that group and this thing. And it was like, okay. And it was not only a nightmare, it was like not creating prosperity. And I finally, after pushing and pushing, like, maybe I just need to do it better, and investing like tens of thousands of dollars in this one like mastermind group that I thought, well, this is the thing. If I do this, then of course it's going to all happen, right? Putting it outside myself. Don't do that. You got to take your power back, right? What if I choose from my knowing? My knowing wouldn't have chosen that. Okay. But that's what I needed to do. And I just let myself have it. I never saw it as a mistake. I never saw it as like a bad investment. I said, what if this is the best investment I ever made, because it brings me the clarity that is not my path. And that is not what I need to do. I don't need to do better marketing and make this thing work and just get out there and push harder. It was not fun. It was not awesome. And so then I let that go. So the point was like, I had a lot of stuff to let go of, right? All these beliefs and all these ideas. And I remember I one time said to one of my mentors, and I'd gotten really fluid with everything. Like, there was so much authenticity. I'd let go of everything I learned. And my business was doing amazing. And then there was this one thing I'm like, except when I have like a sales video, because then you have to make sure you include this and you have to make sure you include that and da-da-da-da-da. Because she's like, why are you struggling with a sales video? Like, share what you're doing. And I was like, yeah, but I have to make sure I include this and I have to make sure I say that. And she's like, okay, is any of that actually true? And I'm like, oh my God, what, another dump. I've got to do another dump and like dump this crap that I learned. So anything that makes your life feel like a struggle is just BS. It's just belief systems that are ready to go out. And then I let that go. I let go of everything I had about this like sales video thing. And now we just call it an invitation video. And when I share with my team, like, okay, for the invitation page, we're going to share this and we're going to share this. And it's fluid. And it always, always comes out what I really want it to be. Like, I want people to feel. So if you even just go to the Be the Medicine page and you feel like, this is possible. We could do it like this. This is who I can be. Whether you join the program or not, like, feel it. Because yes, you are a creator. You are a creator. And if you embrace where you're at as you're at, that lets your system learn like everything. And I'm going to go back to Tim Galloway, because he talked about like, your body already knows how to do the forehand or how to learn to do that. But if you let go and you just let it do that, it's going to do 100 times better. But if the ego gets on board and is like trying to hit a better forehand, it glitches up the whole system. Rise, view, thrive. Rise, view, thrive. I'm sorry. I learned this week to say everything I keep having to justify needs me to let it go. Yep. And that was something Kyle C said last week, which I thought was like, oh my God, this is genius. I was taking notes while he was, I was sharing with him because so many light bulbs were going off like, oh yeah, that's a good guideline. If I've got to justify it, if it's a means to an end, it's like ding, 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 that it's something, it's not authentic. I can let it go. Thank you for the hearts. What else did I want to share? So this was like a big, big thing in me, not only to like invest in the truth, invest in the authenticity. But my friend Tyler Wheelock said to me a few weeks ago, when it kind of seemed like things weren't really going well in my life and there was like a lot of things coming up, it was a couple months ago, he's like, this is when you double down on your message. This is when you double down on what you know. This is when you double down on your truth. Because those are the moments that challenge you to like avoid the truth, go the other way, run away. Versus like, nope, I know that I know that I know. Are you willing to know what you know, even when it doesn't appear to be showing up? Are you willing to know what you know, even when you don't see it? Are you willing to know what you know, even when you don't feel it? Because that was always a big one for me, when you feel like so hopeless and so despairing. And I had a massive breakthrough with this morning. I was getting the kids ready. I was overwhelmed. My daughter's like, you seem really unhappy right now. I was like, she goes, I would hate to be you right now. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you just seem really unhappy. And I realized I'm like, chicka, chicka, chicka. So I realized what was happening is I was pissed because our plans got a little disjointed and my husband's doing his thing. The TPS reports, I'm doing the breakfast, I'm getting that. I'm like, where does he go? Is he going to be here? We're going to be late for school. I've got to get my date. And I was like, in the midst of being pissed, I still said, wait, but my real intention is to have harmony and to be supported and to be loved and be cherished and have my life be fluid. Even though I was so pissed and I didn't feel all bells and roses, I still felt like, but I realized like, oh wait, no, that's not what I want to create. Because I could feel my mind being like, this is not great. This is not fair. I have to work so hard. And it was like, no. I intend to have things be fluid. And I'm cherished. I am loved, which I am. But like, I wasn't seeing it in the moment. And like, not only did everything turn around and I felt like so much better, but I realized in that moment, it didn't matter that I didn't feel better. And it didn't matter that this was what was happening. It mattered that I chose what I actually wanted. Oh, what I really want. Because, I hear the mind doing its little gig of like, yeah, you don't get to have what you want. Yeah, he sucks. And it's like, no, that's not my truth. I choose my life fully. I choose to have harmony. And the whole morning totally changed and it was amazing. And my husband was like super, super supportive and like sweet and like everything smoothed out. And then I felt awesome. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll share the page again. It's drkimd.com/BTM and feel it out. Check it out. If it resonates with you, I would love you to join that, especially for those who are ready to serve humanity in a bigger way and assist the awakening in a bigger way. And I know there are so many doing this in so many ways, not necessarily like as a practitioner or teaching and sharing EFT or in a business, but like just how you show up in your life. Universally, the participants in this program have shared what a massive difference it's made in their family, what a massive difference it's made, like in every sector of their life, to let flow come. So I would love to see you there. We start tomorrow, and I will be willing to answer any questions. You can just email us at support@drkimd.com. All right, so remember, observer effect. Life is a reflection of your state of being. So just be 2% more forgiving of yourself. 2% more soften physically, 2% more embrace what it is as it is. I love myself fully. It's okay. It's this way. It's okay. I'm this way. And you'll begin little by little or lot by lot. You're in charge. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.